You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 24th of August. One militant killed in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Afghanistan has unprecedented opportunity for peace, US General. And 8 injured as protests demanding justice for rape victim turned violent in Nepal. And now for all the details. Security forces gunned down one militant in an encounter in Anantnag district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. The slain militant reportedly belonged to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group and was involved in several attacks on security forces and civilians in the area.
One militant was killed in an encounter between security forces and militants in Anantnag district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Friday. The encounter broke out in Kokenag in Anantnag district soon after a joint search party of the army and the police cordoned off the area. Officials said the militants belonging to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed or JEM terror group was killed in the ensuing gunfight. The slain militant was reportedly involved in several attacks on security forces and civilians in the area. The encounter came days after militants shot dead 3 policemen in 3 different locations in the province. India accuses Pakistan of regularly arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
India's Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday reviewed the situation in the flood-affected Kodagu district in southern Karnataka province. Incessant rains triggered floods and landslides in Kodagu in the last 10 days, damaging roads and houses and affecting connectivity.
India's Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday visited Kodagu district in southern Kerala province to take stock of the widespread damage caused by floods in the region. Heavy showers and floods battered Kodagu district in the last 10 days with many people stranded in remote villages across the district. Reports of landslips damaging roads and properties were also received. Sitharaman said that the Indian Army will play a big role in providing relief operations, including restoration of some of the roads, houses, water and electricity connections in the district.
Roads have taken a thrashing, complete beating, whether it's the national highway or the state highway or the village connectivity roads. We have to be very careful of how we are going to restore it. I will definitely meet up with Nitin Gadkari on the roads. I will speak to Home Minister because he takes care of the National Disaster Relief Funding. And obviously, certainly go back to the Prime Minister to give him a report of what I've seen here.
Heavy and incessant rains in Kodagu triggered floods and landslides in the last 10 days, leaving several houses waterlogged. Heavy damage to infrastructure like roads, bridges, power lines, apart from houses and agricultural crops, has also been reported. Authorities are working round the clock to improve the situation and bring back life to normalcy. Several relief camps have also been built in the district, which are housing thousands of people.
In news from Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, the outgoing commander of the US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, has said that warring parties now have an unprecedented opportunity for peace in the country. He insisted that President Trump's strategy to increase the US troop presence in Afghanistan has been working.
The top commander for US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, has said that the warring parties now have an unprecedented opportunity for peace and insisted President Donald Trump's strategy is working. General Nicholson, the outgoing commander of NATO's Resolute Support Mission, spoke to Pentagon reporters a year after Trump unveiled his Afghanistan strategy, which increased the US troop presence and now includes a renewed push to bring the Taliban to the negotiating table.
We have an unprecedented opportunity or window of opportunity for peace right now. So President Ghani is working to take advantage of it. He offered a second ceasefire on August 19th. Now, while this first ceasefire was in response to the religious ulama's call for peace, this second call represents the entirety of Afghan society.
Despite a wave of violence that has rocked Afghanistan and its capital Kabul in recent weeks, killing scores of civilians and Afghan security forces, Nicholson said he was seeing signs of hope. On Sunday, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani unveiled another ceasefire offer, saying security forces would observe the truce beginning this week, but only if the Taliban reciprocated. An unconditional ceasefire in June had earlier spurred hopes that a new path was opening for possible peace talks.
More on news from Afghanistan. Afghan Interior Minister lashed out at a senior police general, calling him incompetent during a meeting on Thursday over Tuesday's rocket attacks in Kabul. The attacks took place as President Ashraf Ghani was delivering his Eid message.
In a meeting to discuss Tuesday's attack in Afghan capital Kabul, Interior Minister Vice Ahmed Barmak on Thursday lashed out at Kabul's Police Deputy Chief of Security Affairs General, calling him incompetent. An argument broke out between the two while General Mohammad Sadiq Muradi was explaining the situation regarding the attacks and measures. Muradi claimed that in order to discuss the ground situation, he had tried to set up meetings with the minister, but their requests were ignored. Barmak then made a sit-down incompetent general remark, which was followed by a brief. Two police officers were reportedly wounded in the mortar blast when they were heard as President Ashraf Ghani was speaking at an Eid prayer ceremony at the Presidential Palace Mosque. Ghani was speaking 2 days after he declared a conditional ceasefire with the Taliban. To discuss the attack and security measures, President Ghani had also chaired a meeting on Tuesday night over Kabul's security and asked all security sectors to be accountable.
Moving on to news from Nepal. 8 people were injured on Thursday after protests demanding justice for a 13-year-old rape victim turned violent in Nepal's Kanchanpur district. The protests began late last month but were intensified this week after locals blamed that the police was protecting the real criminal and instead paraded an innocent mentally challenged man as the main suspect.
At least 8 people were injured after protests against the rape and murder of a teenager girl turned violent in Nepal's Kanchanpur district on Thursday. Police and protesters clashed several times since the locals intensified protests this week. Local authorities of Kanchanpur district had to clamp curfew as the protests turned violent. Apart from the protesters, the injured also included 2 security personnel. The protests demanding action in a rape and murder of a 13-year-old began late last month but were intensified this week after police paraded a mentally challenged man as the main suspect. Local residents say the mentally challenged man is innocent and that the police is protecting the real criminal.
A calligraphy workshop witnessed huge participation of college and school students in Srinagar city of India's Jammu and Kashmir province. The workshop aimed to revive the age-old art form and its historic roots in the valley.
A calligraphy workshop was organized recently in Srinagar city of India's Jammu and Kashmir province. Kashmir has an age-old history of calligraphy, but it has seen a decline of the art over the years. In order to revive the art and promote it among the young generation of the valley, the workshop was conducted under the supervision of calligraphic experts.
कम से कम मुझे लगता है साल में 2-4 बार तो होना ही चाहिए। ये नहीं कि एक साल में हम एक बार क्या इसका मतलब ये करेंगे वर्कशॉप, मुझे लगता है एक साल में कम से कम 2-4 बार होना चाहिए। क्योंकि हमने देखा जब लास्ट टाइम हमारा वहाँ पे था तो तब से लेकर अभी तक मैंने जितने भी बच्चे देखे हैं या फिर जितने भी वहाँ पे जिन्होंने भी ये सीखा है वो अभी तक मुझे कॉल कर रहे हैं कि मैम हमें ये सीखना है, और हमने देखा भी तब से अभी तक बहुत इम्प्रोवाइजेशन हुई है। और जो अब ये कल्चरल एकेडमी इस टाइम भी इस साल भी उन्होंने अभी यहाँ पे वर्कशॉप कराया है तो बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट आया। यहाँ पे बहुत सारे बच्चे आए कॉलेज से, स्कूल से।
Participants were provided with facilities and materials including notebooks, specific pens, charts and black ink.
इसकी बहुत ही अहमियत है इस वक्त, मतलब इस ज़माने में, चूँकि इस टाइम आप जानते हैं जो कंप्यूटर का दौर है, हमने सारा कुछ इंसानों ने, जो आजकल के इंसान जो मशीनों पर डिपेंड करते हैं, सारा कुछ अपने हवाले किया है इन मशीनों के ऊपर। अगर दो जगह भी करना हो तो उसके लिए अब हम सहारा लेते हैं कैलकुलेटर का। यानी हम जो हमारे अंदर इससे क्या होता है, एक जो तख्लीकी सलाहियत होती है एक इंसान के अंदर, वो दब जाती है। मतलब इन चीज़ों से क्या होता है, जो हम ये जो तख्लीकी चीज़ जब हम बनाते हैं, इससे जो आप में जो तख्लीकी सलाहियत है एक इंसान के अंदर, तख्लीकी सलाहियत वो उभर जाती है, वो निखर जाती है, मतलब इन चीज़ों से।
Calligraphy in Kashmir flourished under the Sultans and the Mughals. The Sultans used to employ calligraphers to copy important work. Initially, the calligraphists were brought from Central Asia as they had knowledge of paper from China, whereas the Indian calligraphists work on a birchmark.
A train connecting India's capital New Delhi to eastern Bihar province has got a makeover with regional art form called Madhubani. The artistically painted train is a sight to behold, which its passengers are enjoying.
A train connecting India's capital New Delhi to eastern province of Bihar has got a beautiful makeover with a regional form of art called Madhubani. The artistically painted train is a sight to behold for passengers and is an aesthetical pleasure to passengers. 9 bogies of the train have been painted so far with Madhubani paintings. It took about 4 days for 30 artists to paint one coach.
एक कोच को पेंटिंग करने में 30 आर्टिस्ट के द्वारा 4 दिन का समय लगता है और इसमें वहाँ के लोकल कल्चर को दिखाया गया है। नेचुरल ब्यूटी हो गया, फिर फिशरीज हो गया, ये सब के बारे में दिखाया गया है। ये मधुबनी पेंटिंग से बना हुआ है।
बहुत बढ़िया पेंटिंग बनाया गया है। रेलवे ने एक अच्छा कदम उठाया है। अगर भारतीय संस्कृति को दर्शा रहे हैं, कलाकृति को दिखा रहे हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है। इसके लिए रेलवे को काफ़ी इसके लिए मतलब अच्छा कहा जाना चाहिए कि अगर किसी चीज़ नई चीज़ को लेकर के आ रही है। आज तक ब्लू कलर और ग्रीन कलर देख देख के हम लोग थक चुके थे।
Madhubani art or Mithila painting is practiced in the Mithila region of eastern province of Bihar in India and in neighboring Nepal. The painting is characterized by stunning geometrical patterns and are rare known for representing ritual content for occasions like festivals and religious rituals. The painting is done with fingers, tweaks, brushes, knee pens and matchsticks using natural dyes and pigments.
Models and Bollywood actors dazzled on the ramp as they displayed sustainable handlooms on the second day of the Lakme Fashion Week in India's showbiz capital Mumbai on Thursday. The curtains for the collections will come down on August 29. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. One militant killed in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Afghanistan has unprecedented opportunity for peace, US General. And 8 injured as protests demanding justice for rape victim turned violent in Nepal. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.